How's it going, Twitch? My name is Skull, and on behalf of East Asia Soft, welcome to today's stream. Looks like a lot of you are in here already. Hello, Dimlord Rothathi, and as always, Borealis, the creator of this game, on vacation in Denmark. All I know about Denmark is Hamlet. Is that bad? That's the one thing I know about Denmark off the top of my head. Anyway, so, stream number 10. We have finished Ash's route, we have finished Malik's route, and now it is time today to begin our third and final route. We are going to be doing the Brianna route, and I guess we'll see how that goes. Oh, I know Denmark is in Europe, I know that, but the only thing specific about Denmark was Hamlet. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, that's loud. And yes, I'm starting a new save file. Yes, I just went through this about a month ago, but this is my stream and I can do whatever I want. And I say that we need to start from the beginning so we get a fresh look at everyone and everything and all that stuff. This is different. Is that main character portrait part of the Brianna route, perhaps? We have saved Brianna for last for one very specific reason. I felt like it. What is your name? I am Arthur, King of the Britons. Anyway. Alright, the return of Idiot Skull. Well, look who it is. Back at it for the third time. Skull the Third. So, there was something I was going to say. And I can't remember it, so I guess it wasn't important. Well, would you look at that? Shadows under the eyes? Check. I should really stop having so many late-night gaming marathons. No, you shouldn't. Get that platinum trophy. Don't let anyone stop you. Kinda messy hair. Check. It never does what I want it to anyway. Indifferent expression. Check. Yep. Everything I need for the day. I'm not depressed or apathetic, but I can't lie. My life is sorta uneventful. I have a decent job that's reliable enough. I never exactly had ambitions to work in an office, but it pays my bills and keeps a roof over my head, so I can't complain. Plus, my coworkers are okay. I'm not that close friends with any of them, but they're fun to shoot jokes over the water cooler with. The office is a pretty relaxed place to be. There's just a distinct lack of... what's the right word? Excitement? I just feel like I'm not really going anywhere, you know? Repeating the same routines week after week as we are our weekly gathering here to play this game is oddly comforting in its own way, but it's not exactly stimulating. Oh, don't worry, I'm sure next week our stream will be very stimulating. Maybe not so much this week. Like this first part of this route, we've come to know what to expect. I'm very interested to see what Brianna's story is. Ash was an introvert, very shy, way more forgiving than I would ever expect. Malik felt a lot more like me, very outgoing, very polite, but also like having some firm ground rules and almost completely absent for the second half of the story, honestly. So I'm curious. I am so curious about Brianna. She seems a little formal at work, and that's all I know. So I guess we'll see. Oh yeah, I remember what I was going to say. This time I will not pick a single bad choice. Not one. Mark my words. I'm ready. And to be clear, I have not looked up the correct decisions or anything. I just know I've got a good feeling about this. I screwed up once with Ash. I screwed up once with Malik. So naturally, that means I can't screw up at all. For number 3, that's what that means. You know, if we keep the pattern going. Right? I've lived alone in this apartment for a couple of years now, doing the daily grind and not socializing outside of work. I'm single, don't have many hobbies, and I don't talk to my parents very often. We're not a close-knit family. Life is fine. You know, it's good enough. Sometimes it just feels a bit like... Well, what a weird thing to say, Dim. Maybe you misunderstand. I screwed up once with Ash, and I screwed up once with Malik. Thus, the pattern should be I don't screw up with Brianna at all. That's how that goes. It's a very simple pattern. It has to repeat 110. Is this unclear to everyone except for me? Treadmill. Speaking of which, I better get off this treadmill of circling thoughts and get on the train to work. Otherwise, I'm going to be late. The pattern is to screw up one time again. You're not speaking any sense. Time to begin another predictable, unremarkable day. Oh wait, I forgot one last vital piece of my daily ensemble. Da 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 da. I'll take that bet, Dim. I am definitely going to stress over those decisions, but I have learned my lesson and I will not screw up this time. The ketchup stain that I totally forgot to attempt to wash out of this shirt, which never came up again, I'll point out. Maybe idiot school wears a jacket over that. For God's sakes, check! Made it in time. Another day, another dollar. Oh, I forgot to mention. So I told you guys that I was participating in Wham, formerly known as NaNoWriMo, but I refuse to acknowledge the company that defends Gen AI. The goal for November was to write 50,000 words in a month. I wrote 60,000 words in November. With a day to spare, I will add. I was so very, very proud of myself. That was really, really good. It's really nice to get the creative juices flowing. And a lot of those words will probably never see the light of day. They're just going to sit in my computer. But it's really nice to just get stuff written because it gets your mind going and it makes you a lot more productive and think a lot more clearly when you're writing stuff. It was really nice. I'm glad I did it. I can't wait to do it again next year. I guess I have a new target, a new personal best that I have to beat in 2025. The usual office sounds fill my ears as I walk to my section. The clickety-clack of typing, the electronic whirs of printers firing out paperwork, and the clink of spoons against mugs of desperately needed morning coffee. Been there. Just type one word, copy, paste it up 10,000 times. Doesn't count. Yeah, I know it doesn't. Excuse me. I head around the corner to the bank of desks that houses my little team. There are only a few of us here, which makes it both isolated and weirdly cozy at the same time.
Yo!
Morning, Skull! Sneaking in just on time? He winks cheekily at me and I chuckle. Don't worry, I wouldn't skip out on another thrilling day of this Anderson job.
Ugh, I know.
Tell me about it. If this goes on for more than another week, I think my eyeballs are going to fall out. I snort in a laugh of agreement and plunk myself down at my desk. The coworker to my right rolls her chair backwards, shooting us both a look of disdain.
Morning.
They better not, Sean. You're both going to need your eyeballs so you can cry at the funeral. Funeral?
Oh, man.
Yeah, of my patients. It's today. The three of us burst into dark laughter, bonding over the agonizing mundaneness of our latest project. What's office life without losing the will to live every other day, am I right? At least you have coworkers you can chat with and be friendly with. That certainly helps, I'm sure. Yeah, Sean and Lydia are my immediate coworkers. We're not best buddies, but we've been on the same team for the whole time I've worked here, and they've helped me learn the job and get on my feet. I guess it feels good to be an established member of the team now, even if we rarely talk about anything other than work. I shove my bag underneath my desk and boot up my computer, getting ready to begin the day. However, before I can do anything else, a new voice booms across the office that immediately causes everybody to look up.
All right.
All right, everyone, if I could have your attention for a moment, to the front, please. The boss. I don't know what he wants, but we obediently abandon our desks to stand in a line in front.
Now then.
Good morning to all of you. If you recall my memo from last week, I mentioned that we were working to secure some new members of staff to join your division. Oh, that does ring a bell. I'd forgotten about it, but we were promised some new additions to the office. Were they imports from Temu as well? Guess we're about to find out what the situation is. Borealis, if I ever do a voice for you, if you love your audience, if you care about their sanity, don't have me do an Aussie voice. Something tells me that I've been told my Aussie accent's actually pretty okay, but like, come on. I'm glad to say we've been successful. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to your new co-workers. He steps aside, gesturing to a small group of people lingering behind him. At his encouragement, they awkwardly tiptoe forward, regarding us all with both curiosity and unfamiliarity. Oh, don't worry, we're very familiar with at least two of them. Intimately familiar, you might even say. No Aussie or British characters for you. That's for the best. That's the right decision. I love Brianna's dress, by the way. I know I've mentioned it before, but that is a very nice looking dress. 3 new hires, huh? That's definitely going to make the office more lively. Casting a quick eye across them all, I notice how different they all are, in both looks and demeanor.
All right.
I just realized Brianna's the only one wearing glasses. The glasses make her look pretty cute. Dim will buy your game if you cast me as an Aussie. Apparently. Anyway. Welcome aboard, folks. This is the rest of your section. We have Sean.
Oh, hey.
Sean gives a trademark boyish grin and a slightly over-theatrical bow at the mention of his name. Skull. I raise a hand, nodding at them all briefly.
Now then.
And Lydia.
Hey.
Lydia's shoulders bounce upwards as she smiles brightly.
Understood?
This is such an embarrassment to this guy that you hired to be the boss, or they can cast as the boss. My apologies to him, but I am in this way too deep to stop now. These 3 will be your superiors until you find your place in the team, and we will be here to train you in every aspect of the job. You'll be working together closely from now on, so be sure to get acquainted with each other. The new hires nod, their eyes flitting between us as though trying to memorize our names and faces quickly.
Now then.
Why don't you introduce yourselves? Oh yeah, speaking of, I got my copy of Sword and Fairy in yesterday. Let's go. I don't have it here with me. It's behind my green screen, but I got my copy of Sword and Fairy Together Forever on PS5. Very first game I ever rolled credits and saw my own name. That was a really exciting day for me. So of course I had to go and buy a physical copy. I can't wait to put it on my shelf and have it collect dust. He gestures to the 3 of them invitingly. There's a moment of hesitation as they all silently glance at each other, wondering who's going to go first. After a second, the girl in the middle takes the initiative and jumps in, and I'm looking forward to taking the initiative with her. I guess I'll start then. I'm Brianna. Nice to meet you all.
Thanks.
I'm honored to be working with you, and I hope to become a genuine asset to the team. Thanks for having me. She smiles and wrings her hands slightly as she speaks. Yeah, it was pretty awesome, I won't lie. Apparently my name is actually in the credits of several other games. I just haven't rolled credits in them yet to see it. And it's also likely that my name will be in credits of future games as well, because apparently whenever EAS ports games to the West, like big RPGs from China or Japan, they include their own credits, and I'm usually included as a special thanks because I stream, so... That was just the first time I actually finished one of those games and saw it. I like, it is my ultimate dream to be a credited voice actor in a game one day. That's like, I love voice acting. You guys probably could tell from all the streams I do, and I fluctuate my voice and do all these crazy voices and stuff. So being a credited voice in a game, it's like my shot at immortality, I guess is the best way of putting it. Her tone is pleasant, but that spiel seemed pretty stiff and predetermined, almost as if she'd rehearsed a script. Perhaps she's just nervous. After stepping backward a little, she looks between the two remaining new hires for the next introduction. This time, the guy on the left moves to face us with an easy smile. Oh, I'm sure it's easy after what we just went through with him last week.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, I'm Malik. Really nice meeting you all. This is my first time in a role like this, but I promise I'm a quick learner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and I make a mean cappuccino to stave off those Monday blues.
Hey.
He punctuates this last statement with a pair of finger guns. Wow, both hands and everything. Everyone giggles and the atmosphere warms slightly. He chuckles at himself before stepping back into line. Skull just failed ninja school? It wouldn't be the first time. All eyes now fall upon the only person who hasn't spoken yet, lingering shyly on the right. It was interesting. Ash, basically the last time Ash made an appearance in the Malik route was when we went up to them and tried to learn more about them in the three-way split where we got to meet every single character. That's the last time we saw Ash. But I feel like we saw Malik and Brianna a little bit more in Ash's route, especially towards the end. So, just something interesting that I noticed. It's just the way that the routes diverged. Malik's route for Idiot Skull bettering themselves was to focus on things outside of work. So most of the focus was outside of work. Ash's thing was more like having to see them at work and it hurts, and thus we see more of casual work life, more slice of life stuff. So it was very interesting to compare and contrast the two, especially in the latter half of the game. So I'm very interested to see what Brianna's route is like. Is it going to be more like Malik's or more like Ash's? Yeah, absolutely, Borealis. And hey, you know, if I ever write a visual novel, I know who to reach out to get the score written up. I have a vague idea for a visual novel I might like to make someday. It's just I have no experience with coding. I know that there are engines, there are game engines that are designed and optimized specifically for VNs. So it's not like it would be that hard to code it. It's more just I would have to write it, and I don't know. I feel like I have a vague concept, but it needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of polishing before I actually start making it happen. But then again, a lot of my best writing has happened when I just wrote it and the story writes itself, because the characters almost come to life and the interactions become a lot more natural than when it plays out in my mind. Just need to make the script. Yeah, that's the main thing. A typical novel, not a visual novel, a real life novel, is somewhere between 80 and 100,000 words. Of course, my finished fan fictions are usually somewhere around 150 to 200,000 words. Visual novels can be as long as you want. I played one game where it was a VN and I was done in a stream. I was done in an hour. so it doesn't have to be long. But I kind of feel like I prefer longer ones, not overly long, not ones that'll take you like 300 hours to get through a single route. I feel like this right here is actually a pretty good length. I did mention Borealis. It would have been nice to have like an epilogue for each of the routes, like 6 months later, just to see what's happening. But also at the same time, I understand it's meant to be ambiguous because Idiot Skull still has a lot of growing to do. Anything can happen, and it would probably be for the best if he didn't end up with some of them when all was said and done. But in terms of the actual story itself, I feel like these routes are actually about the ideal length of what I would hope for with my own story. Maybe I'd like mine a little longer just because I like to write long stuff, but I digress. We're not here to talk about this idea I have that may or may not ever happen anyway. Just saying I might like to write a visual novel myself someday. It's very quickly become one of my favorite genres of video games. My very first VN that I went through was If My Heart Had Wings, and it left such a huge impact on me that it just made me instantly fall in love with the genre in general. So here I am. This is my second Borealis VN that I'm reading through, playing through. What do you call this? That I'm going through, and this is what I prefer to do on Sundays. Tuesdays and Fridays, they have games for me to play that are coming out that week or coming out soon. Sundays are whatever I want to do, and almost always I want to play visual novels. Usually it's because it takes several months to get through them anyway if you only play them once a week. And there's usually several routes, which makes it even longer, but also just because I have so much fun. It's fun to play them and read them and do all the voices and see all the pretty art and look at Brianna, she's so cute. Ash, my beloved. But it's just so fun, and I love this. It's yeah, exactly. Thank you, Borealis. There, we both love that. I feel like If My Heart Had Wings, the length of that might actually be like the perfect representation of my ideal length of a VN. Yeah, well, the script is not the first step, it's planning it out, because if it's a proper VN, it'll need to have multiple routes. It doesn't need to. Seabed was, you sit down and you hit the A button and you reach the end. But I would prefer multiple routes. I like the idea of having multiple decisions and it impacts the ending, and there's good endings and neutral and bad. I like that. It's sort of like a choose your own adventure sort of thing, except you don't know what's going to happen next. So, yeah, it's something that's on the back of my mind constantly. Like, if I were to write a VN, then what would it look like? And maybe next year for Wham, I'll sit down and start writing it. My biggest thing is VNs really should be more dialogue heavy, and I like writing details, like a whole paragraph, and only one of the sentences is a word of dialogue. Oh, wow. That's hilarious. Let's see. I have If My Heart Had Wings. I have the deluxe edition with the soundtrack and stuff. So I've downloaded the soundtrack. I put it on my phone. Literally, there it is right there. I've been listening to it. I feel like I just listened to it last week before. I love visual novels, what can I say? So yeah, if I ever do get around to actually writing the thing, and now I guess I have a bit more of an incentive to do so, then I know who to reach out to commission the score. Let's go back to this actual visual novel that's right here in front of me, shall we? We're talking about Ash now. Excuse me. He looks as though he'd rather not have to talk at all, and I get it. Introducing yourself to strangers can be awkward sometimes. Wait, she... What gender is this person? That's no gender. That is Ash. That's... I don't know why, that actually sounded kind of badass. I automatically feel rude about my confusion, but I actually can't tell. And I think this is what I was getting at when I was first starting my ramble, is we never actually got confirmation of Ash's preferred pronouns in the Malak route. We just went up and introduced ourselves to Ash, and that was it. Like, that was the last time we saw them. They might not have even made it to the second day of work in the Malak route. We don't know. We never saw them again. So far, the only confirmation we have of their, gender neutrality is going their route. And maybe that's on purpose. That's probably on purpose. It's like, you curious? Go and pick their route. This isn't about Ash, this is about Brianna today. Which is fair. I automatically feel rude about my confusion, but I actually can't tell. They have a very androgynous look about them. After a moment of hesitation, they seem to brace themselves and pipe up at last.
Hey.
Hi. I'm Ash. You guys seem nice. Thanks for taking me on board. They go silent, clamming up in embarrassment. Their face turns slightly red.
Yeah.
With that clumsy ending, they step back sheepishly, fixing their gaze onto the floor and waiting for someone else to say something. I guess they're not very good at socializing, or maybe it's just a new people thing. I just realized, is this font Comic Sans? Is this font Comic Sans? Thankfully, no one makes a fuss over it, and the boss chimes in again, from down under. All right, I think you lot can get started. I know it's always difficult on the first day, so for now, just take some time to go around and learn about the different tasks that'll be expected of you. No, it's not. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was. I was like, if it was Comic Sans, I think I would have known that earlier than now, but did you actually have several different ideas for a font? Did you just go with a default one? Did you try a few and pick one you liked? What is the font and how did you come up with it, I guess is my question. Your superiors will be on hand to brief you on everything and to answer any questions you may have. He throws a hand towards me, Sean, and Lydia. We all nod dutifully. I guess we've got a lot of explaining and demonstrating to do.
Good job.
Okay, I'll leave you all to it. Any issues, you know where to find me. With a curt smile, he strides away towards his office, leaving the six of us to figure out this new situation together. Oh, wow. I don't think you have mentioned that, actually, Borealis. I know you said that the boss was someone who you sort of cast him as a favor for all the work that he did for Venus. I'd like to say that Ash was also someone that you knew beforehand as well. I'd like to say you told me that. You said that about one of the other actors, and I can't remember who. I'd like to say Ash. Excuse me. Oh, okay. Well, it's a nice, pleasant font. It's easy on the eyes, which, if you're going to be looking at it for 100 hours, is always a good thing. Friendly as always, Lydia takes the lead straight away.
Oh?
Well, I guess you guys should see the office and the different divisions, right? Shall I give you a little tour? Yeah, that's... Okay, hey, I remembered that. Let's go. The three new hires nod eagerly, seeming happy to be leaving the awkwardness of introductions behind them. In any event, I think both of them were perfectly cast. You cast the boss way better with that guy than if you got me with my Aussie accent. Wouldn't you know it, that wasn't even up for consideration. Something about it just was like, yeah, thanks for auditioning, we'll let you know, we'll be in touch. And then just never contact again. And then were the others just like you put out a casting call, or how did you cast all the others?
Okay.
No problem. Come this way. She beckons the group over with an energetic wave. They burst into action, following along behind her closely. While she's showing them around, I think I'll set up my database so that I can give a little demo of how it works. I tap away for a few minutes, trying to mentally prepare a sort of how to do this job 101 presentation in my head. When I've got everything as organized as I can, I stand up and catch Sean's eye. Ready to give them the lowdown?
All right.
You bet! Let's do this thing! We stride into the adjoining office with a little more spring in our steps than usual. I guess welcoming new people makes today feel a bit more like recess rather than a regular workday. Recess and lunch, my two favorite times of the day at school. Like a pair of slightly giddy teens on a field trip, Sean and I cast around for something helpful to do. Oh, I'm sure Sean is casting his eyes around plenty. After a moment, Sean spots whatever his target is and makes a beeline toward it.
Sweet.
All right, time to mingle. He flashes me another smirk before disappearing across the maze of desks. I guess I'd better get involved too. It seems like Lydia's tour has come to an end. The new hires are now scattered around the place, talking to various people and checking out the different sections of the office. I think I'll go and introduce myself properly. Well, we're saving Brianna for last. Start from the bottom, work our way up. I take a stroll into the far room. After scanning the faces, I notice one that sticks out from the rest. Ash. I just realized how big this... Wow! Look at how big this room is! This looks like a giant public library. In the best possible way. Okay, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool, Borealis. I think that's very, what's the word? Cool. Cool of you to do that. I'm struggling to think of the word. I'm just going to give you a thumbs up. I think you know what I mean. Oh, it's fine, Dim. I take a stroll into the far room. After scanning the faces, I notice one that sticks out from the rest. Ash. Oh no. Is he okay? He looks a bit frazzled, sandwiched between Lydia and Sean as they chattered at him animatedly. Maybe I should join the party and try to calm things down a bit. Their car is totaled. Oh, come on, you stupid bot. Okay, you guys can't see this. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can clearly see that. You stupid bot. Somebody just got in a car crash and you have to come in here advertising. They're so inconsiderate. Fire department had to come out. Ugh. Well, as long as they're okay. Like, yikes. Yeah, you go ahead and lurk away all you need. I make my way over, eyeing Ash curiously as I go. I still can't quite figure out what gender this person is. I feel guilty no matter which pronoun my mind jumps to, in case it's not right. Hopefully, once we start talking properly, it'll become clear. What's up, guys?
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey, Skull. We're just giving Ash the scoop on how each division works.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you gotta get ahead on all the office politics now before you get dragged into the vortex yourself. Lydia and Sean grin, but Ash's expression stays a bit tense as they nod. Running reds. Man.
Ugh, I know.
Here's another tip. If you ever forget to refill the printer paper when Jamie's in, you're going to hear about it for weeks.
Oh, man.
And no amount of begging will get Barbara to do you any favors. Induce her wrath at your own peril. They giggle again. Ash continues to nod along, but they still look quite bewildered, like a deer in the headlights. I think this many people talking all at once is too much for their shy personality to take, especially on the first day. Oh, I am curious, Borealis, on the subject of creating a visual novel. Do you have like a Word document or whatever it is on Mac? Do you have a document that you write the script in and then copy and paste it into the game as you're working on it, or do you write it in the game? Have you gotten to the point where you're so good at coding these games that you just sort of write it as you code it instead? And I know coding is, like with visual novels, coding is in the loosest sense of the word, but yeah, what's the actual process of physically writing the script? Do you have to do like double space, like paragraph, like, yeah, what's the actual process of writing a script for a visual novel? Like physically writing it, not emotionally, not typing it all out. Like, yeah, my question has been asked. Well, it's a good job Ash is mainly working with us three, right? You hit the jackpot there. No drama with us. I direct the last part of my sentence at Ash with what I hope is an encouraging smile.
You know it.
Absolutely. We're the coolest gang in the building, no doubt.
Really?
Oh, really? Yeah, it'll be easy once you get started. Anyway, first days are for taking things slow, right? You can't learn everything at once, so don't worry about it. I kind of look around at all three of them as I say this, hoping that Sean and Lydia will get the hint that they should probably lay off a bit. Thankfully, it seems to work. Yeah, you're right. Go write yourself a list of all the little knickknacks you're going to decorate your desk with. Work can start tomorrow. He catches Lydia's eye and they begin to stride away.
See you around.
See you later. Whew, that's better. The pair of them aren't exactly boisterous, but Ash seems to be a little on the timid side. I don't want them getting overwhelmed the second they arrive here. I glance at them as they hover awkwardly. The deer in the headlights look has dimmed slightly, but there's still a sense of caution there. Sorry if they were a bit loud. You'll get used to them.
Oh.
Yeah. Sounds good. That's how I'm used to doing it. I have people all the time. I have friends who are writers. And I gotta say, most of my friends kind of agree with me on this, but I have other friends who are like, they have to use, say, Google Docs or some other cloud-based word processor to write their stuff. So then, no matter where they are, if they have internet access, they could write it. I'm an old school kind of guy. I have Microsoft Word 97. I still use Word 97. It's almost 30 years old now, but that's my word processor of choice. The reason is simple. I own a physical CD-ROM of Word 97, so anytime I get a new computer, I just install it off the disk and I don't have to pay for a brand new version. Don't fix what isn't broken. It's fine. It works great. I do back up my stuff all the time. I have my latest thing on... I have my latest documents backed up like onto 3 different external hard drives. One of them lives on my phone, and I might end up using cloud backups as well just to make sure I don't lose anything. But I just like working offline. And if I do have an idea for something I want to write while I'm abroad, then I put it in my notes app on my phone, or I do, in fact, put it onto Google Docs. But then when I get home, I copy and paste it back into my offline document. That's just how I do it. And it's that's how I've always written. And I guess Google Docs definitely have their place, especially if you're doing something like a collab with somebody. But I just always prefer offline. 2008 iPod Nano. Hang on. This is my very first iPod, and I still love it. This probably looks a little different from yours, is my guess, but I love my iPods. You don't have to worry about phone calls. You don't have to worry about internet or streaming or anything. You do have to worry about battery and storage. Absolutely, you do have to worry about that. But there's plenty of ways to upgrade older iPods. Give them like a terabyte of flash storage and a battery that'll last for a week with a single charge. Like, you can boost these old iPods to do all kinds of crazy stuff. So don't ever underestimate old technology. Just because it's obsolete does not mean it is invalid. You have the red one. Oh, cool. That bot is already banned. Well, I mean, I banned it from the chat, so did it get banned from the entirety of Twitch? You wanted to report him, but you couldn't. Oh. Yeah, karma's a bitch. Anyway, yeah, I love old stuff. I do. It feels like these days, I'm going on a slight tangent, but it feels like these days all the companies are trying to push more and more stuff on you. Subscription services, internet-based things that you need to always have a connection. Sometimes it's easier just to go with old stuff. Even if it's not the most convenient, at least it's reliable and at least you're in full control of everything. So yeah. I carry on trying to make my voice a little softer. So there are quite a few tasks you'll need to do here on a regular basis, but I could show you all you need to know. We have a pretty great online system that organizes the team, so knowing what to do next is pretty simple. Talking about online collab-based stuff. In a work environment, I think it's perfectly acceptable. For private stuff, man, if I want to listen to music, I have like 1,000 CDs, I have 500 records, audio tapes. Yeah. Ash nods again, more slowly this time.
Oh, okay.
That sounds good. Also, they fidget bashfully for a second. When they speak again, though, their tone is lighter.
Thanks.
Thanks for taking the edge off things just then. With Sean and Lydia, I mean... Oh, no problem. You kind of looked like you were being eaten alive when I walked into the room, so I thought I'd better nudge them away to find another victim. They actually laugh at this, to my surprise. It's a soft, quick giggle, but it's sort of cute. Ash, my beloved.
Right.
Yeah, it was a bit intense. It's not that I'm nervous exactly. I'm just not great at getting used to new situations. Well, that's pretty common, I think. Plus, first days in new places are always weird. They nod more vigorously, seeming slightly more relaxed now.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, well, anyway, thanks. Anytime. Oh, Walkmans, yes. I love my old stuff. I have a Windows 98 computer. Although in that case, it's mostly because there's old software and games that modern Windows can't play because everything up through XP was built on DOS, and everything since XP was built on x86, a completely different architecture. So at some point, Microsoft just sort of gave up on trying to emulate older things. So there's too many old things that I want to play, and I can't on my new computer. But also, it was my childhood computer, and I just never got rid of it. So there you go. They send another tiny smile my way. I shoot one back, enjoying the warmth of it. I bet they're a really nice person underneath all the shyness. Oh, we know, full well. I also find their quieter energy a pleasant contrast to the rest of the office. Not everyone has to be loud and chatty all the time.
Hey,
I think I'll go and check out my desk. Sure, see you around. Ash nods once more and then heads out of the room. Oh, that was... Wait. Oh, balls! I still haven't figured out this gender thing, have I? Nothing Ash said in that conversation made it any more obvious. And it's not like I can even judge based on a name. Ash is unisex, right? Welp! Call me Sherlock, cause I've got a mystery to solve. Which will not happen during this stream. I wander back to my section, spotting Malik and Lydia having a chat between the desks. They look like they're enjoying themselves. Wanting to get in on the fun, I join them.
Nice to see you again.
Oh, you're Skull, right? Nice to meet you properly. Yeah, you stabbed me. You can't get much closer to a person than that. Stab me in the heart. He extends a hand and I shake it. It's not a typical business-like handshake, though. It's more like a bro shake. Also, I want his jacket. That jacket with that tie is a flawless combination. This man has fashion. He's one of those cool types. Yeah, with that jacket and that tie.
Hey.
I think we lucked out with this one. She jerks her head towards Malik as she says this.
Awesome.
He wasn't lying about those coffee skills. I feel like I should have paid about $12 for this in some hipster brewery. She jiggles her mug under her nose, and I get a tantalizing whiff of coffee and hot, foamy milk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you'll have to get your order in, Skull. 1 cappuccino, please, Malik. My man. Gotta butter you up for all the work-related favors I'm inevitably gonna need to ask for in the future. He cracks a grin, and I feel my own smile widening to match. Something I found out fairly recently. There are a surprisingly small number of synonyms to the word smile. Smile and grin, and that's about it. And when people are talking to each other and they're smiling with each other, it's really hard to write new and interesting ways of saying that. He smiled, she smiled, he grinned, she grinned. Like, that's it. There needs to be more words for smile and grin. All right, I'll try to come up with the most complicated drink I can imagine. He chuckles warmly.
What's the deal?
So Malik, what made you want to apply to work here? There are plenty of jobs in a city like this, right? Why pick us? He replies almost immediately. Money? I've always been a big fan of getting paid. He barks a laugh to show that he's only messing around, and both Lydia and I giggle at his wisecracking.
In fact.
Okay, no, but seriously. He drops the jokes and starts to talk about how he found the job. It's not a thrilling conversation, but I find myself getting drawn in nonetheless. Oh, now that's interesting. We don't know that Brianna's super formal yet. I guess we kind of do. But, but we don't know exactly how much until we actually pick her, so that is interesting. Oh, I know. I genuinely, I mean 100%, I asked for a pocket thesaurus for Christmas this year, and I really hope someone gets it for me. Just because I'm so tired of having a Google tab open on my second monitor, constantly searching word synonym, and I'd rather just have the thesaurus and just open it up and look. I would make so much use of that. It's a writer's curse, trying to write in a way that's interesting, but not be too overly wordy, but also not use the same words over and over. Like, it's a fine balance trying to make it all work, and I think I'm pretty good at it. I'd like to say that I am, but it's a struggle. It's the kind of things that most people don't know. Thesaurus.com is great, of course. I just really like having something tangible in my hand. Like, I have so much space on my desk. I have a space right over here where if I want to pick it up, I can and read it. So, yeah. He has a real charm, a real calm, carefree vibe about him, and a charm. Very charming. As I resurface from my thoughts, I realize that talk has shifted toward work.
Oh?
You just reminded me, actually. Do you know how to program formulas on a spreadsheet? It'd make things so much quicker. Basically, yeah. I'm sure you guys know some secret tricks and tips, though. How do you tend to do it? He and Lydia start comparing formulas, and I notice how he tightens up his act just enough to be considered professional. So, he's got both sides going for him. Nice. When they're done discussing the joys of spreadsheets, I jump back in. So, how are you feeling about the job, Malik? Think you'll enjoy working here?
Sure thing.
Oh, I reckon so. I have to admit, this is something of a big change for me. I haven't worked in this kind of environment before. I'm not too worried, though. I feel like I should be able to get up to speed in decent time. I like learning new things. Besides, you all seem really nice. I'm looking forward to hanging out and getting to know you all a bit better. He smiles as he says this, and his warm energy seems to permeate the room. Right back at you, dude. He nods at me. My mind just went back to the guy who got every single choice wrong. What must it be like to get to your third playthrough of this game, knowing full well you've picked every single thing incorrectly, and just knowing that you're going to did it again? I can't. It's impressive how. Man, I can't stop thinking about him. I think he's going to be nice to have around. Let's talk to Brianna, the one that we are doing this route. Looking around, I spy Brianna in the middle of the office talking to Sean. Of course. Say pretty girl, and Sean's there. Preparing to third wheel him out of his flirting game, I stroll over. Hey, what's going on? Brianna turns to me as I speak, seeming open to having a third person join the conversation. She is so cute. Take that, Sean.
Hey.
Hi, Skull, was it? Yep, well remembered. She smiles briefly. Thanks, I'm Brianna. Although I guess I already told you that. She shuffles awkwardly for a second with an airy giggle. Definitely nervous.
Oh, hey.
I was just saying how nice it is to have someone so eager to impress on the team. I bet you were, you not-so-smooth operator.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I can't wait to get started. I'll do my best to contribute to your already stellar workforce and produce the best results possible. Not gonna lie, her enthusiasm is a bit intense. It's probably just for stage jitters, though. I doubt she's actually this stiff and formal all the time. Well, what if she is? I guess we're about to find out.
All right.
Well, looking forward to it. He shoots Brianna a grin before shuffling away to talk to someone else. I guess all this boring work talk has squashed all the chat-up lines out of him. Once he disappears, Brianna turns to face me more directly. Her expression snaps back to attention again, as though waiting for her instructions. And I just thought of another question. How do you do QA for this game, quality assurance? Do you just play through it yourself over and over and over? I feel like that would take a while. Do you have beta readers or beta testers play through it? Friends, family that you give the game to and ask them to play through and give you feedback? Or, well, maybe not feedback so much as just making sure that grammar and typos and all that stuff, and then also that animations are correct and the proper picture is there, all that stuff. What's the QA process like for a game like this? This particular game, I guess, specifically. There is no need for her to stand on ceremony like this. You know, this place is pretty relaxed. You don't need to worry about being super professional and serious all the time. She regards me for a moment, frozen in thought. Then she seems to loosen up a little at last, exhaling a laugh.
Sorry.
That's fair. So, was it... I don't know. Like, it just occurred to me, I don't know how to render out a game. I know how to render out a video, but I've never thought about the actual process of writing a game to an executable file. It's never occurred to me, because there has to be a point between the game being in an editable state where you can change things and the game being in a non-editable state where you can pick it up, launch it, play it, all that stuff. So, yeah, I'm very unfamiliar with game development, or at least the actual, I know how to write games, I know how to program in like Unity and Unreal Engine, but I don't actually know the process of creating a .exe file from it. So I take it most of your QA happens when it's still editable. You probably didn't make a .exe or equivalent file too many times. Probably, if I were to guess, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm sure I am, you probably edited it as much as you could, got it all ready, then made it into a .exe, and then played through that a few times to see if you could catch anything you might have missed. Again, please correct me if I'm wrong. You're right. Sorry. I'm being way too corporate, aren't I? She grins in disdain at herself, and I smile back. I was just worried about making a good impression today. I really want the boss to feel like he made the right decision in hiring me. I want to learn as much as I can so I can become a decent member of the team quickly and not slow you guys down. Well, that's really thoughtful and all, but you know the first day on the job is never that productive, right? You have so many new names to learn, desktop backgrounds to pick out, bathrooms to memorize the locations of. Most important part, the actual work doesn't tend to start until the day after. Ah, that is very convenient, yes. She laughs, and this time it's not an anxious giggle, but a genuine chuckle. I do know for me, after I render out a video, I have to watch it and make sure nothing was ruined during the rendering process. Every once in a while, there's like an audio glitch or a video glitch, and I have to fix it and re-render it out. So that's part of the reason why my videos take so long to make, is because even when I'm done, I'm not done. So... yeah. So is that something you have to worry about with video games, or is it basically once it's a .exe file, it's one-to-one identical with the working file? She laughs, and this time it's not an anxious chuckle, but anxious giggle, but a genuine chuckle.
Nice.
Of course! I should have seen that coming. I'd better spend the afternoon learning everyone's favorite candy and who's secretly dating who, right? Yeah, exactly. As we banter idly, I find myself admiring how much more warm and open she seems now that she's not stuck in work mode. It'll be much easier to get to know her this way. Oh, and trust me, I plan on getting to know her very well, if you know what I mean.
By the way.
Anyway, so I was wondering... She straightens up and reins her smile back in, as though someone pressed a stop slacking button.
Can I ask you something?
Is there a specific method or schedule that you guys stick to when collating your data? Do you all discuss it as a group, or is it more individuality based? Damn, I guess I spoke too soon. Miss Professional is back. I'm guessing that there's a reason she acts like this. Did her parents pressure her to be a perfectionist? Just a guess. That makes me feel absolutely no difference whatsoever, Dim. Accepting that she's clearly too focused on learning the job to chat casually right now, I start explaining things. I don't go into huge detail yet since it's only day one, but I give her a general overview of how the team works. She watches me intently as I speak, as though soaking up all the information like a sponge. I mean, what did you expect, Tim? I wouldn't have expected the creator of this game to write the game out, code it all, and then not even try and play it to see if it all worked right. That would just be incompetence, and Borealis is not incompetent. She watches me intently as I speak, as though soaking up all the information like a sponge. I have to hand it to her. She's laser focused. She's probably going to outperform myself, Lydia, and Sean once she gets going. When I run out of things to say for now, she claps her hands together with an energetic smile. Does your editor also let you just go to any point in the game? It would be really convenient if you boot up the game, you start a new game, and then with the press of a button, you just go to the final screen. That would be really convenient. That's all really helpful, Skull. Thanks a lot. No worries. I'll leave you to chat with the others. I probably shouldn't hog her time.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sure. It was great talking with you. Thanks again. She beams momentarily before striding away to join a nearby group of workers. You have to make save files all over the place. Rats. Nuts. Huh. When you ignore the fact that 90% of her conversations revolve around quizzing you about work, she's actually quite lively and bubbly. I bet she's fun to talk to when she's more chilled out. Prefer a Kit Kat or Twix? Although you do love nuts. Oh. Circus peanuts. My favorite candy. Feels like I hardly even see them anymore. They're orange pieces of pure sugar, and I love them so much. The rest of the day had actually flown by, what with all the socializing, demonstrating, and showing around. By the time we all exit out into the late afternoon light, I feel both tired and strangely energized at the same time.
Awesome.
Well, I hope you enjoyed your first day, guys. Tomorrow's when the real fun begins.
Aww.
Yep, we'll have to actually do some work. Damn it! Everyone giggles, and I loiter beside Sean and Lydia as we gaze at the new hirees. I hope that their experience of the office has been a good one so far.
Exactly.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's been real. Looking forward to tomorrow. He regards us all with ease, as though he's already known us for months.
I appreciate it.
I got some errands to run, so I'm gonna bounce. But thanks again for everything. Good luck to you both, too. He turns to Ash and Brianna as he says that last part, beaming warmly at them.
Thanks.
Thanks, you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catch you on the flip side.
All right, peace. He sets off at a relaxed pace, disappearing into the crowd of commuters around us. I think I'm gonna head off too. They seem kinda anxious to follow Malik's lead and go home for the day. It's probably only out of social exhaustion though, so I don't mind the quick escape.
Okay.
Okay. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks for all the help. See ya. They scuttle away at a fast pace, probably relieved to be able to go home and recharge. Brianna then turns to us all, a businesslike smile plastered onto her face.
That's great.
I'm really grateful to you all for such a warm welcome. I'll definitely... The professional air never quite leaves her, does it? She almost looks as though she'd like to stand here talking about email templates for another hour.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you will, Blondie. See you tomorrow. Oh, I'm sure he'll be looking at her all day tomorrow, not to worry. He winks at her and she exhales a high laugh before waving and leaving at last.
Huh?
What do you think? The boss made some decent choices, right? Yeah, I think so. Hopefully once they're all settled in, our workload won't be as big and we could chill out a bit.
Hey.
Hey, don't go getting ahead of yourself. We still have to finish that Anderson project before then. We all groan in unison before bursting into laughter.
Laters.
Right. See you guys tomorrow. Ditto, buddy. Catch you 2 in the morning. Both of them throw their hands up in a casual wave, leaving me to head to the train station. Ah, Snickers. What was that one candy from E.T.? It evades me. It's the one that's not M&M's. It's Reese's Pieces? It was Reese's Pieces, wasn't it? Yeah, I guess it was. Sorry. Spielberg wanted M&M's, but Mars, the company that makes M&M's, didn't agree to it. So they went with Reese's Pieces instead, and the popularity exploded overnight, and Mars never forgave themselves. True story. Home sweet home. Here to once again grind away at that platinum trophy for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm up to 100 hours now, and apparently, statistically speaking, that's only about halfway there. I throw my keys and bag onto the table and plop myself down on the couch. I'll think about what to have for dinner in a minute. Mars, etc. are way more popular. I mean, they're popular here. They're very popular here. M&M's are still way more popular than Reese's Pieces, but yeah. Reese's peanut butter cups. Yes. Well, anything chocolate. Chocolate, peanut butter, especially together, I'm sold. And sugar. Don't forget the sugar. Anything sugar. Well, today was certainly more interesting than usual. I guess I got my wish. After all that grumbling I did this morning about having a boring routine, my mind automatically flits between the 3 new hires I met. Brianna is definitely the most forward of the bunch, always talking and looking for something new to learn or do. I admire her focus, but I also hope I get to see a bit more of the real Brianna once she's settled into her routine, and today's the day! I reckon there's actually a carefree and fun streak behind the workplace mask she wears. Those are her glasses. Take those away, and you'll see. You'll see how blind she is, so then you put the glasses back on, because she's just fine. Malik is a total anchor. He seems really chilled, comfortable in his own skin, and confident without being cocky. He's also super friendly, and equally nice to everyone. He'll be a positive influence in the office, no doubt. Hope he doesn't stab me in the heart. What are you talking about? Ash is an enigma. They could come across as detached, maybe even rude, but that's definitely not it. I could tell that there's a much more open person under there somewhere, and I really hope they can relax enough to let it show as time goes on. I am kinda curious about them. Him, her, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Ash, my beloved. All things considered, work life is going to be a bit different for a while, and I'm happy for the change. Reese's. Tomorrow has arrived, and Lydia, Sean, and I have been summoned to see the Temu Aussie boss. Not the loveliest place to start your Friday, but I doubt we're in trouble. He probably just wants to ask us to do something. Oh, here he is. Oh, great. Here he is. Let's do this. You 3. Very good. How'd you find yesterday? Did you get the new blood? Do you think the new blood will fit in well with the team? Definitely. They're great. Lydia and Sean offer similar compliments, and he nods in satisfaction.
Now then.
Glad to hear it. Now, on to why I asked you here. I'm sure these new hires will be able to lend their roles just fine. However, it'd speed things up a bit if they had a designated person to help them through and really show them the ropes on a one-to-one basis. There's 3 of them and 3 of you, so it makes sense, don't you think? How about you all decide which one you'd like to mentor and let them sort of shadow you for the time being until they find their feet? We exchanged surprised but approving glances. Seems like a good plan. I don't know where the word pleasant came from. As we nod and emit mumbles of agreement, he folds his arms, looking pleased.
All right.
Perfect. That's that then. Figure it out between you and get to work. I'm sure the new folks will appreciate it. Off you go now. He shoos us out of his office half-jokingly, and we head back toward our section.
Huh?
So what do you think? Got your eye on anyone?
Oh?
I'm not sure. I could probably work with any of them. What about you, Skull? Do you have someone in mind? Well, funny you should ask. Her question causes my gaze to wander across the room, landing on each new person in turn and mulling it over. I'm sure I'd get along decently with all three. But if I have to spend more time with just one of them, then Route 3 begin. I think I'd like to work with Brianna. Her enthusiasm for learning the job will probably make things pretty easy. I might choose Brianna if you guys are okay with that.
Really?
Let's see how this is different. Stealing away the hot chick for yourself? Shameless, Skull! He cackles ruthlessly, and Lydia whacks him gently in the stomach. He probably deserved that.
Ow!
He
Shut
deserved
up,
that.
loser.
Oh, shut up, Sean. We all know you're the real danger here, not Skull. I would have loved a CG of Lydia, like, punching Sean in the stomach, and, like, this cartoon of him being lifted in the air and his eyes open wide and spit coming out of his mouth. More laughter follows, and I roll my eyes and smirk. Oh yeah, if only she knew. Actually, you're right, Tim. I didn't even think about that, but you're right.
You know it.
No, I don't have a problem with that. I'm happy with whoever, really.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, same here, Skull. I was only messing. Want to do rock, paper, scissors over the remaining two, Lydia?
That's crazy.
I think we can probably find a better way to decide than that. They share a grin. Sensing that my part in this conversation is over, I search the room for Brianna once more. I'm going to guess that Sean got Brianna in both of the other routes. She's sitting at her desk, staring intently at her computer screen. Bet she's already trying to figure out the system on her own. Attempting to put myself into professor mode, I head over. Hey Brianna, how's it going?
Hi.
Oh, morning, Skull. I'm good, you? Yep, great. Listen, the boss wants the three of us to sort of mentor you guys one-on-one for a while until you get used to the job. I'll be your work partner for now, if that's okay with you.
That's great.
Oh, sure. That sounds really helpful, actually. There's loads I want to ask you. Yep, saw that coming a mile away. That's fine. What were you doing just now?
Well,
I was taking a look at the database. Some parts seem self-explanatory, but there's still quite a bit I don't understand. Can we get into how it works? Sure. Why don't you bring your chair over to my desk? I planned out a bit of curriculum yesterday, but we all did so much chatting that I only covered about 20% of it. She laughs at this, standing up swiftly and grabbing her chair.
okay, sure.
Absolutely! Let's go! Once we're seated, I launch back into my database tour. I don't feel like I'm the most natural teacher, but it doesn't seem to matter. Brianna laps up every word hungrily, like a cat with a bowl of cream. I'm sure Sean would be lapping up something of her hungrily if he had the chance. As promised, she's also full of questions, which she fires out regularly. It keeps me on my toes as I try to match her learning pace. After a good 45 minutes of relentless lecturing, I take a moment to grab a sip of water and rest my poor mouth for a second. Sorry, I've never had to explain this much about the system to anyone before. Feels like I'm giving the longest school presentation of my life. As someone who has actually been a guest lecturer at the university here, it's actually really fun to talk to a group of people, as long as they're listening. If they're not listening, it gets really boring really fast, but if they're looking at me and paying attention and writing notes and all that stuff, it's the best feeling in the world. to actually talk about something and people listen and learn. I chuckle, so she knows I'm not really complaining, but she looks a bit dismayed nonetheless.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Skull. I'm going way too hard on this, aren't I? No, it's fine. You gotta learn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but... She closes her eyes for a moment, screwing her face up in an uncharacteristically goofy way. Then she lets out a big sigh, her shoulders drooping.
Wow.
I need to calm down a bit. I know I've got to get started here, but I'm sure I'll learn it all fine. I don't need to worry so much. What is her story? Why does she act like this? What are you worried about? The whole making a good first impression thing?
Yeah.
Exactly. The thing is, this is my first proper full-time job. That's a surprise. Okay. Cool. You're doing great, girl. I've only ever done random part-time things before, nothing that needs a whole lot of skill, and nothing as formal as this. That's why I'm really focused on becoming a good employee as fast as I can. I want to actually deserve my place here, you know? Ah, now the eagerness makes sense. Well, with a mind as sharp as yours, you'll definitely earn your place. You're exactly the kind of person the boss was looking for.
Really?
Oh, you think so? Totally. It's fine that you haven't done this kind of job before. You'll get into it, no problem. Brianna lore begins. Something tells me that she's not going to be quite the open book that it might first appear, though. You seem pretty smart, so if anything, I'm going to be asking you questions before long. And Borealis, you said that this was actually the first one that you wrote. Did you have at least an idea for the other two? I'm going to assume you did. I'm willing to bet you had most of that figured out before you started writing this, but this is the first one you actually wrote properly. Did you write a little bit of the others as you wrote this, or did you write the entirety of this before you moved on to the other two? But here we go. We saved the first for the last. Yeah. I grin, and she emits a soft giggle.
Thanks.
Thanks, Skull. I think it's just... I feel like I'm starting a new chapter of my life coming here. I really want to explore it as much as I can. She bunches her fists as she talks, as though she's trying to hold back excitement.
You know.
I never felt like I did much with my life before, or contributed to anything properly. Now that I'm here, I want to prove that I'm actually capable of things.
I want to do this.
I've got ambitions now, and I want to follow them. I feel like getting this job is an important step toward that. Huh. What a pretty glow she has when she's passionate about something. Her face is animated as she speaks, and she almost shines with positive energy. I think this is a glimpse of the real Brianna I suspected was lurking underneath the professional facade. It's lovely to see. Well, I can't imagine you ever being bad at anything. You're definitely on your way to proving yourself now. You're learning this job way faster than I did when I started. Seems like this new chapter is getting off to a good start already, no? Her eyes meet mine, and she smiles gratefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it is. Thanks, Skull. I'm looking forward to whatever's next. Ah, she is so cute. Look at that face. That's a cute face. Yeah, that's about what I guessed. Cool. We share a slightly meaningful look, and I feel as though I know her just a little bit better now. Our workday goes by somewhat quickly. Brianna and I had crammed diligently on the database for a while longer, and then she'd gone back to her own desk to try out some simple tasks I'd given her. Unsurprisingly, she'd managed to do them all pretty well, only a couple of minor mistakes. 5 p.m. hits, I don't know why that was WPM in my head. 5 p.m. hits, and the office weaves a collective sigh of relief at the knowledge that we're free to leave.
Awesome.
Just wanted to say, good work, everyone. That was a great first proper day on the job.
Sweet.
I second that. Gold stars all around! I hum in agreement, giving the thumbs up. Everyone smiles, and the new hires nod in thanks. Once we get our things together, all 6 of us seem to hover expectantly, glancing around and wondering who's going to walk with who as we leave. Malik, Brianna, and Ash are probably feeling a bit awkward, having still not been here long enough to make proper friends with anyone. I'm about to turn to Sean and Lydia to suggest we all just leave as a group to keep things simple. However, Brianna catches my eye, stepping out from behind her desk toward me.
Hey.
So, are you ready to head out? Yeah. Shall we? She nods with a smile, and we make for the stairwell together, leaving everyone else behind. I hadn't expected her to single me out. As we come to a halt on the sidewalk, I turn back and spot the rest of our section filing out of the building together. I guess we were the only ones that splintered off.
Thanks.
Well, thanks again for everything today. I feel much better about things now. That's good. It was nice chatting with you about non-work stuff, too.
Ah.
Oh, the new chapter thing. She grins a little shyly.
Sorry.
I hope I didn't bore you, or just sound like a massive dork. Not at all. I enjoyed it. A single quiet laugh escapes her, and then she looks curiously at me.
You know,
I was actually thinking, just before we left, I've definitely been pretty full on with the seriousness when it comes to work. I feel like I might have forgotten to be myself for a while there. There's more to me than taking notes and pestering you for answers, I swear. She giggles at herself. So I was wondering if maybe you might want to hang out sometime, and we can get to know each other a bit better without work being in the way? Wow, she is forward. This is way more forward than the other two. I'm fine with that. I have nothing against that. Oh, wow. That's a pleasant surprise. That actually sounds nice, Brianna. I'm down.
That's great.
Ah, great. Well, if it's not too short notice, it's the weekend now, so how does tomorrow or Sunday sound? I checked my calendar, but I already know for a fact that, like every weekend of my life, it's 100% empty. Just like my head. Tomorrow's fine with me. I had no plans anyway.
Nice.
Awesome. What do you want to do? Do you have any ideas, or shall I come up with something?
Well,
I do have something in mind, but I'm keeping it a secret for now. Oh, so she's got a mischievous side. I like it. This is not what I expected with this girl. My goodness, this is the opposite of how she acted. Whew, is it hot in here? She smirks as I agree to go along with whatever her sneaky plot is, and we swap phone numbers. So we'll meet in the garden square at noon.
yeah.
Sounds good to me. I guess I'll see you then. You will. Have a good evening.
See you later.
You too. Bye. She strides away with a pep in her step. My eyes follow her for a moment as I replay our conversation back in my head. That was really something. I know we were basically attached at the hip all day, but it was work-related. I never imagined she'd like me enough already to want to invite me somewhere. When was the last time I got invited anywhere that wasn't just Sean and Lydia dragging me to a cafe for an extra caffeine boost after a hard day? I genuinely can't remember. My chest hums slightly with a warm feeling, and I find myself looking forward to tomorrow. Snapping out of my reverie, I realize that everyone else has already left. They must have all said goodbye and gone while Brianna and I were making plans. Turning on my heel, I head off toward home, feeling a little tingle of optimism. Finally, something fun is happening in this dull life of mine. Ooh, pretty. Looks like we're at Universal Studios. Saturday has arrived and I'm on my way to meet Brianna. I'm still surprised that she asked me to spend time with her, but I'm certainly not going to turn it down. I'm really looking forward to it. Crossing the street, I enter the city's Garden Square. Oh, looks like she's already there waiting for me. I quicken my pace so I don't leave her hanging any longer. And look at that pretty dress. This girl is on fire. Hey, you weren't waiting here long, were you?
Hey, you.
Hey, only a minute or two, but it's fine. You're not late. I got here early. Ah, so you're just as professional outside the office as you are inside it. Are you sure this is going to be different from work? I wink at her to show I'm only joking, and she exhales a flustered laugh. Of course it will. Don't worry, I won't start asking about data management or anything, I promise. Casual outfit unlocked. Can't wait to see the CGs with this. Good. Work is a banned topic today, okay? I grin and she comedically mimes zipping her mouth shut, locking it and throwing away the key. As we giggle, I take a proper look at her. She's always well presented in the office, but what she's wearing now is even prettier. It complements her good looks and makes her seem a little brighter than usual.
Yeah?
Okay, so ready to get going? Sure. Although, you still haven't told me what we're doing today. You gonna fill me in or keep me in the dark? She ponders for a moment, a cheeky smile growing on her face.
Well,
I want it to be a fun surprise. Just come with me. Her smile widens and she turns and takes a few steps, as though beckoning me to follow. I have no idea what's in store for me, but her almost childlike enthusiasm makes me want to just go along with her anyway. All right, you win. Let's go. We fall into step together, heading around the square and down toward the slightly more spaced out area of the city. It feels kind of strange to be strolling alongside her like this, with the office far behind us and no clue of what I'm being led into. It's oddly exciting, though. We walk until Brianna begins to slow down, taking me toward a building I've never noticed before. Is this it?
yeah.
Yep. Have you ever been here before? Nope. No idea where we are.
Ah,
Oh, good. It really will be a surprise then. How do you feel about dogs? Dogs? I wonder how this relates to what we're doing. The same way the rest of the internet does. I love them.
that's great.
Great. You see, I come here pretty often to help look after the dogs being put up for adoption. Oh, so it's a rescue shelter for dogs in need of homes. You take them for walks and help them with their everyday care, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they also have open days where they let people come in and play with some of the dogs to hopefully attract more adoptions. I thought you might like to come with me to one. Blech. They have some really cute puppies at the moment. Well, say no more. If there are cute puppies, I'm in. Ah, this girl. She laughs, and I have to admit, this is quite a sweet idea for a day out.
Hey.
Shall we? Lead the way. She heads in, and I follow behind. We don't spend long in the building itself. I hear doggos. Brianna leads me down a corridor and right through to a back door on the opposite side. She clearly knows her way around. We exit into a decently sized yard area. The patches of grass, dirt, and trees provide a welcome snatch of nature amid the city landscape. Brianna! Before we can do anything, someone calls out to Brianna. As she greets them, several other people in the yard look up and wave at her. She beams as she waves back, answering friendly questions and blushingly accepting compliments. She seems pretty popular here. Once the little paparazzi moment has passed, she turns to the first lady who called her name.
By the way,
Are there any free dogs at the moment? I think some people just left a few minutes ago. You can probably grab theirs.
thanks.
Okay, thanks. She catches my eye.
Can I ask you something?
Want to go pick one each? Sounds good. We head over to the back wall where a small group of dogs are tied up on leashes, sniffing around and drinking from water bowls. Their heads snap upward as we approach, their tongues lolling excitedly as they beg for attention. Oh man, what a bunch of cuties! Brianna wasn't kidding about that. She gives me a brief introduction to each one. After a moment of consideration, we both grab our dog of choice, leading them to an empty spot in the yard. I ended up with Bear, a Labradoodle puppy who's apparently only around 8 weeks old. He's a little young, huh? The name checks out. He literally looks like a plushie. His cute little face makes me want to squish him. Brianna chose a tiny, fluffy Pomeranian named Cookie. She unclips the leash from his collar and pets him happily, glancing up at me.
Well,
What do you think? Yep, you definitely scored points on this adorable dog scale. She grins, dashing away to a box by the wall, and coming back a few seconds later with some toys for us to use. I set Bear free of his leash too, grabbing a squishy bone-shaped chew toy that squeaks when I squeeze it. Playtime begins, and I instantly feel super glad that Brianna chose this as our activity for the day. I'm having so much fun. There's something about animals that just melts away your tension. The air fills with the comforting sounds of collars jingling, toys being thrown and fetched back, and the occasional bark or playful yap.
you know,
So, Skull, do you have any pets? I don't actually. I do sometimes think it'd be nice to own a dog, but then I spend so much time out of the house at work I wouldn't be around enough to look after it properly.
oh really?
That makes sense. I'd love one myself, but I rent a house with friends and our landlord doesn't allow pets, annoyingly. She makes a sulking face for a second and then laughs it off.
Hey,
But hey, at least I can get my dog fix here. Absolutely. I might pop by myself every now and then when the puppy cravings get too strong. We giggle quietly. So, how long have you been helping out here? Everyone seems to know you quite well.
actually,
I can't remember exactly, but it's been close to a year, I think. That's dedication. You must be a real animal lover. Her expression becomes thoughtful as I say this.
well,
I mean, yeah, animals are great, but I wouldn't say I'm super into them. It's more the shelter itself and the people who run it that I'm here for. She pauses for a moment to pet Cookie, who's pawing at her ankles for attention. After taking a toy out of his mouth and flinging it across the yard for him to fetch, she turns back to me.
you know,
This place is actually run by a charity group. It's totally independent, so it relies on people's generosity to stay open and do what they do. I really admire any organization that works to help people in need, or animals too. When it first opened, I volunteered almost every day. Wow, that's really kind of you to put that effort in. She smiles as I say this, looking as though she wants to elaborate on the subject. Cookie returns to her, dropping the toy at her feet. Instead of throwing it again, Brianna plops down onto the ground, straightening her dress carefully as she sits. She pulls the dog closer to her and begins rubbing his belly. I guess she wants some attention now that we're having a proper conversation. Figuring that we probably gave the dogs enough exercise already, I follow suit, sitting down with Bear opposite her. Aww.
actually,
Her glasses are a little different. I hate that I had to point that out, but her glasses are square or are rectangles instead of circles here. Cute though. This shelter kind of means a lot to me. It makes me feel like I'm contributing to something worthwhile. Cute pupper. They make such a difference to these gorgeous dogs. They'd probably die on the street if they weren't rescued. There it is again. That wish to prove that she could do something important and valuable. It really does seem to be at the core of her motivation for most things.
you know,
I guess it's not just the dogs they help too. Some of these days, open days, are specialized for people with mental and physical disabilities. It's kind of like animal therapy. They get to leave their struggles behind for an hour or two and enjoy being with the dogs. Oh, that's such a beautiful thought. I love those days the most. Some of those people look so happy when they're here, like their wheelchairs and their medications and their depression doesn't matter. If I can be a part of something that brings people joy like that, then I'll do whatever I can to be involved. It feels so rewarding, you know? She shoots me a sheepish grin as though she's embarrassed about having gushed about it. Then she goes back to petting Cookie. I find myself smiling as I watch her. I'm both impressed and touched by the caring, passionate person she's revealed herself to be. That's seriously amazing, Brianna. You're really selfless if you value stuff like that so much. She is. She exhales a bashful laugh, blushing slightly.
No.
I don't think that highly of myself, really. I just love anything that makes people feel like everything will be okay, even if it's just for an afternoon. If I can help that happen, I will. I think that makes you pretty considerate in my book. It's kind of inspiring. I mean it. And she looks up at me. I feel like she knows I'm serious. Her blush intensifies, and it makes her look even more pretty.
Thanks.
Thanks, Skull. You're pretty awesome yourself. I'm not on your level. She hums a quiet laugh. Well, I did have to cut down my hours once I started job searching, and it'll have to stay that way now that I'm at the office, but it's still something, right? Definitely. And hey, why not sneak out for a long lunch break every now and then? I'm happy for you to drag me out of the office with you if I get to pet cute dogs. Just give me the signal. She laughs melodically.
You're really great.
Excellent adjective. I think you'll be welcome back here whenever you like. She nods at the puppy in my arms as she says this. I look down to see him wriggling contentedly in my lap, licking my hand affectionately. Oh, my heart!
Actually,
She speaks a little more quietly this time, looking at me thoughtfully.
I just really...
I'm glad you came with me today. You seem like a really nice person, Skull. I hope we can keep getting to know each other better, if you'd like to. Yeah, I'd love that. She breaks into another warm smile, her face glowing as we gaze at each other.
Ah,
Cool. Let me know if you want to hang out. It'll be nice to see each other outside of work. You can come here and play with me anytime. Play with me? The dogs! I mean... Her face turns scarlet as we laugh at her mistake, but her intense eye contact makes me wonder for a second if it had really been a mistake. Was that a flirt? I don't want to read too far into it in case I'm wrong, but it kind of felt that way. Brianna and I spent a while longer with Cookie and Bear, playing and petting to our heart's content. My jeans are covered in fur, but I got puppy cuddles, so I couldn't care less. Puppy cuddles! How is that not rewarding? When you're right, you're right. Eventually, we say goodbye to Brianna's friends and head back out the way we came, pausing in front of the shelter. Well, thanks for inviting me out today, Brianna. I really enjoyed it.
thanks.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for coming. I had a nice time with you. Are you convinced that I'm not just obsessed with work now? She grins playfully, and I pretend to be debating the concept real hard. I'm not sure. We might have to spend another day together to really seal the deal. I say this in a mildly suggestive way, fishing to see if she's up for it. Thankfully, she laughs and nudges my arm lightly. I mean, I'm game for that. Score! Seems like another hangout is already in the bag. Alright, let's make it happen sometime. Let me know.
Ah,
Sure, I'll head home now, but thanks again. It's been great getting to know you better. You too. I'll see you in the office on Monday. Yep. I'm about to throw her a casual goodbye wave. Before I can manage it, she steps boldly toward me and embraces me in a hug. It catches me off guard for a second. I didn't expect that. This girl is very straightforward. Wow. What else do we not know about her? It's only brief, but I enjoy it nonetheless. Noticing the floral scent of her hair as it tickles my nose. Must be her shampoo. When we withdraw, her cheeks are a little flushed, but she looks happy.
Bye.
See you later, Skull. Yeah, have a good rest of the weekend. She sends one last smile my way before striding off in the opposite direction from where we came. I guess we live on different sides of the city. As I turn and head back down the road toward the train station, I replay snippets of the day in my head. Of course, having fun with the dogs is pretty high up there, but learning more about Brianna's interests and ambitions, realizing how much she cares for others, that almost flirt where we were sitting down, the hug just now, and how open she seems about meeting up again. All of it whirls in my head, making me mentally dizzy in a good way, and I think I'm starting to like her. Like her. I have butterflies in my tummy, and whenever she smiles, they flutter even more. Yep, I think I have a thing for her. Is it bad that I'm having these feelings so soon after meeting her? She's barely been in the office for 2 days, and here I am ready to pounce on her. Oh, okay, not quite that, but still. Is it too early? I'm not sure, but all I can think about right now is how lovely she is and how much I'd like to see where we could take our budding friendship. If she feels the same way, of course. I think I'd better try and figure that out first. Drop some hints next time we meet up, and see if she'll be more clear about how she feels about me. If it seems like she wants the same thing, then let's not go there just yet. I don't want to get overexcited about something that might not happen. For now, I'm just glad that she seems to like me in any capacity. If there's potential for more, we'll have to see. Next week, we will have to see. And, we can override this one. And go back to the main menu. Wow, Brianna was forward. My goodness. I guess that shouldn't have surprised me too much because she wasn't shy. She was just overly professional. Ash was shy. Ash acted exactly as I expected him to. Brianna is very forward and very, wow. Guys, I might have saved my favorite for last. I mean, that strongly depends on what we're going to do to screw things up, but, wow. I like Brianna a lot. Like a lot. And we got to play with puppies. If anything else, there's that. Yeah. All right. Borealis, enjoy your vacation in Denmark. Holiday, vacation, trip, thing. Enjoy Denmark. Thank you to Denlord, Ross Southey, and Jiraiya for being here. Shout out to the lurkers. Shout out to everyone watching on YouTube afterwards. And biggest shout out to Borealis for being here and sharing this playthrough of the game with us. I'll be back next Sunday. I'll be continuing my playthrough of True Colors, A Date with Deception. We're going to see how Idiot Skull manages to screw it up this time. This week, I'm playing Learn to Play. I feel like that should have been the first thing they gave me to play 4 years ago when I started this job, but better late than never. Something for y'all to look forward to. All right. On behalf of East Asia Soft, I have been Skull. Have yourselves a great day and a great week, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye. Go pet a dog. It's good for the soul.